So this week I want to discuss a recommendation um, in terms of your mindset when approaching a piece of work. Now, again, it's just a recommendation. Like I'm going to say with just about any advice I give, any recommendation, anything. There are no hard and fast rules. There's nothing that you really need to stick by. These are just things that I've come across that I find valuable, and I'm sharing them with you. So my rule for this week is just finish whatever you plan to start. Like have that mindset. That might sound really simple, and you might be thinking, "Of course, I approach everything with the intent to finish. I just sometimes don't." I don't think you should be giving yourself a way out there. Now, again, I should just to be clear and speak about myself here. I haven't finished a number of things, especially early on. I remember my first novel that I took seriously. I wrote maybe 10,000 words and then I just gave up. I realized it wasn't the best idea. And that's partly why I plan more carefully now going into a novel. But that's a matter for another week. But the reason I say you need to approach any project, whether it's a poem, a short story, a novella, a novel, a screenplay, whatever you're writing on, working on in your writing, the reason I say you should really go strong with mindset of not giving yourself a way out and finishing is because it's an incredible opportunity to grow. The first novel I wrote had a million and one mistakes, and I struggled through it, and my grammar was off, and I didn't know about perspective and POV, and just about anything that could go wrong went wrong in my first novel. And it was incredibly important because after that, I had everything. Well, not everything. Of course, I'm still learning, but a lot of the basics that I needed to iron out had been ironed out. And it was this really painful, brutal process, but it was such a necessary process. It's because I needed to finish. At that point, I just said, I need to finish a novel. I need to know I can do this. And it was an incredibly bloated novel, and it took forever, but it really worked out because then whatever I wrote subsequently was better. I didn't fall into the same pitfalls and so on and so forth. But speaking maybe a bit more generally, I think it's just a useful mindset because as far as I understand, the biggest issue that people face in writing is, not finding an agent or a publisher, not any, real logistical issue that might come once they finish a novel. It's just finishing a novel in the first place. That's what actually separates people in terms of those who potentially go on to be successful writers or just, find any success in writing versus those who don't. It's just giving up. And, it's perfectly fine. Everybody gives up. Everybody finds that certain ideas don't work. But if you really push through and have that mindset, perhaps you'll plan more. Perhaps you'll realize that, after a few days struggling and not being able to break through whatever writer's block you're suffering from or plot problems you're suffering from, you actually can get through them because you don't allow yourself that way out. And this isn't true in anything, right? So I think sometimes people try to treat art or writing as something separate from the rest of the world, but it's not. Whether it's in business or whether it's in fitness or whatever you have in life, you find the best results when you don't give yourself a way out. Again, just to qualify myself, within reason, right? Like, don't make yourself too miserable. But outside of that, like if you, whether you have weight loss goals, you give yourself a goal to work towards. Like, I need to hit this weight, or I need to do this program. So similarly, and in business, right, you have a project you're working on, you have certain performance indicators that you're trying to hit to be successful there. So similarly in writing, have the end point in mind. Say, like, I'm not just writing these few chapters and I'm going to see how it goes. No. Think of the end and get there. And like I said earlier, it'll help in all sorts of ways with your writing. But generally, it's just a mindset is going to be helpful for being a successful writer. And of course, if you're less serious about writing and it's just like a light hobby, you can completely forget about what I'm saying. But this is more for those of you who really want to go somewhere with your writing. I think it's a really important mindset to embody. So that's all for this week. I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.